elderphobia, or elderphobic, seniorphobic. Does this sound familiar? The Bible speaks with great respect about the elderly, teaching that older people are to be honored, listened to, cared for, and treated with dignity. Scripture presents age not as something to mock or discard, but as a season of life often marked by wisdom, experience, and God's continued purpose. 1. Honor the elderly. One of the clearest commands is, Thou shalt rise up before the hoary head, and honor the face of the old man, and fear thy God. I am the Lord. Leviticus 19, verse 30, to God connected respect for the elderly with reverence for him. Showing honor to older people is not merely a social courtesy. It is a spiritual responsibility. 2. Listen to the wisdom of older people. The Bible often associates age with wisdom gained through experience. With the ancient is wisdom, and in length of days understanding. Job 12, verse 12, older believers have walked through trials, victories, losses, and lessons that younger generations have not yet experienced. Their voices should not automatically be dismissed. 3. Do not mistreat or take advantage of the elderly. Scripture warns against exploiting those who are vulnerable. Defend the poor and fatherless. Do justice to the afflicted and needy. Psalm 82, verse 3, while this verse speaks broadly about the vulnerable, the principle applies to those who are elderly, weak, or dependent on others. God cares about how society treats those who cannot always defend themselves. 4. Care for elderly family members. The Bible places responsibility on families to care for their own. But if any provide not for his own, and especially for those of his own house, he hath denied the faith and is worse than an infidel. 1 Timothy 5, verse 8. This includes showing love, patience, support, and practical care for aging parents and relatives. 5. Do not disrespect older believers. The Apostle Paul instructed Timothy, Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and the younger men as brethren. 1 Timothy 5, verse 1. This does not mean older people are never wrong. Everyone is accountable to God, but correction should be done with humility, respect, and love, not contempt. 6. God still has purpose for people in old age. The Bible rejects the idea that someone's usefulness ends when they grow older. They shall still bring forth fruit in old age. They shall be fat and flourishing. Psalm 92, verse 14, God can use elderly men and women to teach, pray, mentor, encourage, and serve. 7. Children and younger generations should value their elders. The Bible warns against society where respect disappears. The child should behave himself proudly against the ancient, and the base against the honorable. Isaiah 3, verse 5, a culture that mocks the elderly, ignores them, or treats them as burdens moves away from God's design for human dignity. Christian application today, according to Scripture, caring for senior citizens means the following: speaking to them with kindness and patience, listening instead of dismissing them, protecting them from neglect and abuse, honoring their life experience, visiting and encouraging those who are lonely, refusing to use their weakness as an opportunity for control or manipulation, remembering that every person is made in the image of God. The Bible's message is clear. How we treat the elderly reveals a condition of our hearts before God. A society that honors its elders reflects God's compassion, but a society that discards them reflects a loss of love and righteousness. Please stay
back in the
and pay
1970s,
attention
Harvard
to this
ran one
next
of the
part of the
craziest
video.
experiments
It's
ever.
very important.
They really might have proved
John,
that your
your role
age is
reports
a
in.
decision and
Thank
not
you.
a fact. They invited 8 elderly men in their 70s and 80s to what they believed was a weekend retreat. They had no idea that they were being experimented on. But as soon as they got there, they knew that something was off. You see, everything at the retreat was from the 50s, 20 years earlier. I'm talking from the songs on the radio to the TV shows playing. Then they told the men to do something strange. They told them to pretend that they were in the 50s. And so they went along with it. I guess they were having fun with it because they were talking about their careers from 20 years ago, relationships, world events, like it was the 50s. But yo, here is where it gets a little bit spooky. A week later, they brought all the men back in for testing. And yo, Harvard had ran tests on these men before they walked in and after they left. So how is it even possible that they started to show improvements in their joint movements? How the hell did their eyesight get sharper and their grip got stronger after the experiment? Man, they even pulled people off of the street to look at before and after pictures, and in the after pictures, they said they look a couple years younger. This experiment might have proven that we had it wrong the entire time. What if the body was just following the orders that we gave it? What if every single time you said that you were too old for something, you were giving your body instructions? What if we're confusing describing your body for actually commanding your body? Maybe this experiment just proved that it's the mind that goes first and the body just follows the orders.